Hi, everyone. I'm John C. Morley, the host of the JMOR Tech Talk Show and Inspirations for Your Life. Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, Serial Entrepreneur. Welcome to the JMOR Tech Talk Show. We are on the first Friday of February. I don't know what happened, friends. It's like the year went by, January flew by, and now we're in the first Friday of February. I just can't believe this. All right, we have an amazing show for you. And I've got to tell you that there's so much going on that you're going to be like, John, what the heck's going on? Like, this is like nuts. All right. Well, one thing, ladies and gentlemen, is this I got to share with you. I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank all the friends, colleagues, and wonderful associates for popping back. We're working on getting you some great guests coming up in the next few months. And we're even working on getting our show to become live in person. Not just I just do it only online, but also having our in-person recording. So we have a lot more coming. Definitely want to share that with you. So let's talk about the Blinken postpones China's trip over unacceptable Chinese spy balloon. What the heck is this about, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, like, what are they even talking about? What kind of a spy balloon? I mean, when you think of this, does this kind of just like, I don't know, does it send goosebumps down your throat? Or does it kind of just like, I don't know, does it like put you into a spot that, I don't know, just maybe confuses you? Does that happen? And I think, from what I've been seeing here about this is kind of crazy. The Chinese spy balloon. And so the U.S. Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, postponed a visit to China that had been expected to start on Friday after suspected Chinese spy balloon was tracked flying across the United States in what Washington called a quote-unquote clear violation of the U.S. sovereignty. Wow. This is just incredible what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I think this is just absolutely amazing. And I can't believe, ladies and gentlemen, that people are doing this. I mean, we know we can't trust a lot of what's going on, right? We definitely can't trust a lot that's going on. But, we'll just have to keep an eye on it and, just be mindful of, what they're doing. But I don't know. What the heck are they up to? Like, do they think we're stupid? I don't know either. But I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, this isn't right. And we need to react. Yeah, we need to react, ladies and gentlemen. And by reacting, I don't just mean, somebody saying they're sorry. Um, and so, you know, the thing that was very interesting about this is that how much gravity he put on it to stop this. In a quote that I'd like to make was, "It is a civilian airship used for research, mainly meteorological purposes, affected by the westerlies and with limited self-steering capability. The airship deviated far from its planned course. The Chinese side regrets the unintended entry of the airship into the U.S. airspace due to force majeure," according, close quote, to the Chinese Foreign Ministry. Yeah, I don't believe that as much as you could throw it. It's a problem. And I want to quote one of the militaries, the U.S. military said, "The incident is a serious because of the audacity of the Chinese government rather than an intelligence gain. While existing satellites are able to gather similar amounts of information, the timing of the spy balloon, well, right before the planned Blinken trip, and the fact that it was flying over the continental U.S. contributed to seriousness of the moment, this official said, close quote. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you that it's just a shame that they would even do something like this. All right, some more news. Iran was behind the hack, they say, of the French magazine Charlie Hebdo, according to what Microsoft says. But what is this all about? You know, an Iranian government backed hacking team allegedly stole and leaked private customer data belonging to French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo. Security researchers at the Microsoft said just recently. And so, what are they doing? I think, is this about some type of a proof? Is this trying to get some power? Is it trying to prove that they can do something? I don't know. But I know one thing, ladies and gentlemen, we have to be careful and we can't trust what's going on in our country by other people. You know, a lot of these people in the country, they're up to no good. And the reason they're up to no good is because they're looking to get ahead, but in a wrongful way. And it was, and I would quote, after the French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo launched a cartoon contest to mock Iran's ruling cleric, a state-backed Iranian cyber unit struck back with a hack and leak campaign that was designed to provoke fear with the claim proliferating of a big subscriber database, quote unquote, according to Microsoft security researchers. Quote, I want to say something from what the FBI said in a quote. Quote, the FBI blames the same Iranian cyber operators, Eminent Pasargad, for an influence operation that sought to interfere in the U.S. 2020 U.S. presidential election. The tech giant said in the blog published Friday, Iran has in recent years stepped up false cyber operations as a tool for discrediting foes. Quote, close quote, but quote again, calling itself Holy Souls and posing as activists, the group claimed in early January to have obtained personal information on 200,000 subscribers and Charlie Hebdo merchandise buyers, according to Microsoft's digital threat analysis team. So, what's really going on, ladies and gentlemen? Why are they doing this? Is it about political power or is it about something else? Like, what is it that is going on? I mean, that's really the thing I'd have to ask you. I mean, what does that mean to you? I would tell you that it's pretty amazing what's going to happen. And I think that people are starting to get concerned over just little things in their life, over little things. And these little things are pretty cool. I mean, they're really cool. Think about that for a moment. I would tell you that Microsoft and all of these threat aggregators are trying to protect our public resources. That's what they're trying to do. And so, by trying to protect our public resources, we know as people that things can become vulnerable overnight. So, we've got to pay attention, ladies and gentlemen, not just for you or for me, but for the entire world and for everyone's safety. Because one little piece of information that's leaked out could get to the wrong people. And those wrong people could potentially cause a major problem. I'm not talking about a short problem. I'm talking about a problem that could cost millions and millions and millions and millions. Pretty important, right? Think about that for a moment. I will tell you that it's pretty interesting that everybody's being so like this. Think about what this means to you. Think about this, what this means for our world, for our country. I think what you're going to find is that it's something that's crazy. It's something that's crazy. I'll tell you that it's hard for people to accept what's going on. It's really hard. And so I know, ladies and gentlemen, that you're probably wondering. Think about what that means to you. Think about what that means. What does it mean for other people? It means something different, doesn't it? I would say that when we think about, like this little incident that went on, it's there to tell people don't screw with us. And karma's the funny thing, right? If you have an intention to do something wrong, it's gonna blow up in your face. I mean, that's inevitable. But people that think they can fall under the wire, well, that's a big, 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 big problem. All right, let's move on to our next topic. Samsung's LED settlement worth 115 million, according to a nanotech firm. Ooh, that's crazy. I mean, what the heck's going on? I mean, this is absolutely insane. So on February 3rd, Samsung Electronics has agreed to pay 150 million to British nanotech company Nanico. Nanico. I mean, that's just like, I mean, that's just like crazy. Why is it crazy? It is. To the British Nanico technology company, Nanico Technologies, to settle patent lawsuits over technology used in Samsung's LED televisions. Nanico and its investor in its cases said just this past day, Friday. So Nanico and the Chicago-based litigation funding firm GLS Capital said, and I quote in a release, that the settlement, which includes a license agreement and the transfer of certain patents, resolves litigation in the United States, Germany, and China. So Nanico's quantum dots improve the backlighting of LED displays without the use of toxic heavy metals like cadmium. Quote, it sued Samsung in 2020, alleging the Korean tech giant copied its technology after receiving samples during talks about a potential collaboration. Ooh, that is really low. The Texas lawsuit said, quote, Samsung began incorporating Nanico's technology into high-end QLED TVs launched in 2017. Third-party funding lawsuits has becoming something that's increasingly common in the recent years. So I think it's really bad what Samsung did. And, you can't just take somebody else's work and then, go from there. You really can't. You can't do that because that's going to be a wrong thing. And like I said to you, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, you know, people should do the right thing. And this is according to Blake Brittain, who was the writer at Thomson Reuters. And, when we think about this, um, it's been kind of nuts. And I think the biggest thing I can tell you is that other companies are doing it or they're preparing to do it. They're hoping they won't get caught or they won't get their hand stuck in the cookie jar when somebody's watching. And that might sound kind of trivial to you, but what these big companies understand is getting hit in the pocket with some hefty fines. So Samsung and other companies, watch out, don't do this again. And other companies, don't do this again. And we could have this happen with any company, not just them, all because it's an implied statement of who came up with the technology. They don't think it's documented, but hey, ladies and gentlemen, it is documented. And that is a big, 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 big no. All right, the Call of Duty maker Activision Blizzard to pay $35 million over US SEC charges. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty hefty. Activision Blizzard Inc. or ATVI.O has agreed to pay $35 million to settle the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission charges that it failed to have systems in place to properly handle disclosure of employee complaints and violated whistleblower protection rules. Close quote, the regulator said on Friday today. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, that, people are going to try to use their political power. I'm going to mention not a person's name, but I'm going to mention a concept. There's a developer in the town that I live in, and he doesn't live there, but this is a person that claims he's about family, but he's not. He's just about the money. He's about the money. And he doesn't care what he builds. He just cares that it brings him revenue. It brings him lots of money. These are people that when you talk to them, ladies and gentlemen, they can't even look you in the face. Okay? They're ready to do a whole breakdown of the property and build up something they claim that's going to be gorgeous and amazing and have a new style of life for people and be great for the community. But you know what they failed to do? They failed to have a traffic study. They failed to have an environmental study. And they failed to even look at the schools and how many kids that will be impacted by. And some people might even lose money because of that funding. See, people don't think about this. They just think about themselves and what can happen. And again, whether you're a small company or a big company, we all want to do the right thing, correct? But too often people get stuck in that pit where they don't do the right thing. It's not because they don't know how. It's because they either don't want to spend the money or they just don't want to do anything that's going to make everyone have full disclosure. I don't know. But the whole thing about this, Call of Duty, thing in Activision Blizzard, of course, we're calling it Call of Duty because everyone knows the name of that game and the creators, Activision. Of course, it has nothing to do with the Call of Duty. It just has something to do with the fact that they're an electronic entertainment company that manufactures a very well-known game, and everyone figures that if we mention this, they'll know exactly who we are talking about. So I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to just keep our eyes on that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is an interesting one. Imagine this. Imagine a giant aquarium. Can you imagine that for me? And that aquarium has hundreds of fish in the tank. Hundreds of fish in the tank. And let's just presuppose, okay, that tank, for whatever reason, a giant aquarium housing close to 1,500 fish just bursts. You'd be like, what the heck? Like, how did that even happen? And you might be saying, John, that sounds crazy. I would have to tell you this huge cylindrical aquarium housing 1,500 exotic fish just burst in Berlin. Now, quote, they say that material fatigue was the likeliest cause of the incident. Berlin's interior minister said on Friday afternoon today, investigations are, of course, not yet complete, but first signs suggest we're dealing with material fatigue. Iris Spranger told the DPA news agency, close quote. So I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, but this is when I tell you crazy. This is insane, right? A freestanding cylindrical aquarium containing 1,500 exotic fish. Now, they're not cheap, just bursts, causing this wave of so much damage around a very big tourist attraction. Glass, chairs, table, and of course, other debris was just pushed away. And they call this the Dome Aquarie complex, which includes a Radisson Hotel, a museum, shops, and restaurants, and so much water. A 46 feet tank, all just after 6 a.m. this morning. And I want to quote what police said: 2 people sustained injuries from falling shards of glass and had to be taken to the hospital. Now, the animals inside the saltwater aquarium, which contain the clownfish, terraria, batfish, and pallet surgeon fish, survived. Now, for those of you that don't know what the heck that is, let's just look this up for some of you guys so you have an understanding of what let's say a clownfish costs. So a clownfish, just a regular clownfish, a baby clownfish can cost $77 to $124, right? So let's take a look at a large clownfish. So large clownfish can be anywhere from $89.95 to $140, $150. They're the fish that look like a clown. They have orange, they have white, they have black. Really cute little fish. And interesting to see that they definitely, do have a value. How about the terraria batfish? That's another one that has some damage, and so that fish again, nothing survived. So that fish is around $50 a piece, and then there's also the pallet surgeon fish. And what the heck is the surgeon fish? Well, the surgeon fish is pretty amazing, right? The surgeon fish. The surgeon fish, in case you wanted to know, how much does the pallet surgeon fish cost? Well, they're worth a few dollars. And let's say, what do they cost in the US? It's they're saying close to 1,000. Could be a little bit more than 1,000. The blue tang is about $159, but that surgeon fish is over 1,000, if not more, survived. They didn't survive, I should say. One witness, Gwendolyn Sykowskowitz, told the German news, quote, Channel NTV, she heard a loud bang and feared a bomb had exploded, close quote. Quote, our whole bed was shaking. Another guest told the Tagspiel newspaper, I thought it was an earthquake, close quote. Berlin's mayor, Franziska Giffey, quote, had visited the scene. A proper tsunami poured forth over the premises of the hotel and adjacent restaurants, close quote, she said. Quote, if the whole thing had happened an hour later, we would have had to report terrible human damage, close quote. Emergency services shut an adjacent major road that leads from the Alexanderplatz Tower toward the Brandenburg Gate, owing to the large volume of water that had flooded out of the building. Oh my gosh. I mean, that's terrible, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that is so, so terrible. Can you even think about something like that even happening? Can you? Think about that. I think knowing when something's wrong can be a big problem, right? And when we know there's a challenge in the world, we obviously want to make it better. But if that whole thing would have happened just an hour later, guess what? It would have been a big problem. A big problem. They could have lost so much and more damage, and human life would have been like devastatingly destroyed. So sometimes I really do believe, well, I believe a lot of times, but sometimes when I hear these stories, it makes me sometimes believe that, there was a reason that that happened at that time. So it spared people from any kind of danger or accident that could have happened. Right. All right. So Twitter bans free API access. What does this actually mean? So the season of Twitter shakeup, it's not over yet. The social media platform has announced it will eliminate free API access for third-party developers. While the concept of API restriction is being reviewed, it may not sound too dramatic. The change will have users once again worried about Twitter's future, and it means the site's, yes, many automated accounts will grind to a ceasing halt unless the person in charge of them decides to pay up some bucks. It also means that researchers who leverage Twitter's API to collect public data for the site will lose a key resource again unless they choose to pay. So if you're wondering what's an API, it's an application programming interface. And in short, it's framework that basically, or middleware that allows the software to talk to it, to communicate to a database, to hardware, etc. It's developed so that people don't have to get into the nitty gritty. Okay. They can just make certain calls. It enables people to become more creative and access tools that maybe they couldn't before, all because of this. Now, automated accounts are a common example of how this works for Amazon and many other places. And if they stopped allowing API access for free, well, then many people that have used this to benefit all kinds of companies could come to a halt. While the accounts tweet things like Lord of the Rings, quotes are made, site navigation is easier, aren't necessarily the backbone of the platform. And users argue that they contribute to the social experience they come there for day to day. But really, where is Twitter going? We already know that Elon wants to step down. He was not very well welcomed there. And it's not unusual for a platform as large as Twitter to have an API that's accessible to the public because it provides so many ways for people to use their information and that relationship. Maybe put certain tweets on their website, maybe integrate postings, and many other likes, okay? So this could become a serious problem. So if you use any scheduling software and it goes to an API, well, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to tell you, but you may no longer gain access to that API, or that company's software use might be charging more money since they will now have to pay more money. I think that's a crazy thing. I mean, I have to share that with you. I think it's a crazy thing. And we just have to wait and see, what's going to happen there. And everything with them is, all about money. Unfortunately, it's all about money. And so when we think about why they're doing something, I have to believe it's to cut resources, but it's not that big of a resource to Twitter or a company like that. I think they're just trying to figure out where else they can get money from. And it's interesting to share something that I definitely want to share with you guys, and I think it's a real important thing. We talk about people that were compromised, right? We've been talking about that, whether they're large companies, small companies. But there's one thing we didn't talk about. Know what that is? There was another big, big compromise that happened. A huge compromise that happened. Do you know which one I'm talking about? Yes, I'm talking none other than, yes, EA and Meta weren't the only companies to axe games this week. So why? Well, there can be lots of reasons, why they decide to axe a game. It could be for security reasons, or it might just be for the fact that they don't want to make a difference. And when we think about everything that went on for this whole piece, it can be a little daunting to some people. Why and how and where. A lot of live service games are going to shut down. And so the developers of several companies and the live service titles announced their games will be shutting down. It means the players who engage in these games and spent money on them might have to move on to something else. Now, these shutdowns are really just an indication of the challenges facing our world with online titles. And if they don't find a way quickly, okay, massive hits, they might be closed down before they really have time to find their footing. And new entrants have to fight an uphill battle. That's a big, big problem. And that means for any of these new gamers, they're stuck in a chicken and egg situation. Apex Legend, Mobile, and Battlefield will shut down. And other ones have shut down. So I think people have to understand that shutting down games is not something they want to do, but it's something they have to do to sustain their ability in life and withstand the whole traction of where the company's going. Where the company's going is pretty huge. Now, when we think about companies, doing business now, after, I will say, kind of in a new norm, but when COVID has kind of gone into let's call it a remission, because I won't say it's 100% gone, but I will say that with everything that's going on, technology is the forefront runner, I should say, of what's going on in our world. Now, I know you might be saying to me, John, the fact that EA's, any development on the in-depth things like, Battlefield mobile game, it's been testing. The industry is evolving, and the strategy to create is also evolving. So where is this going? Where's their money going to be put? I don't know. On June 6th, the servers for Dodgeball Battle Royale game are going to shut down. Okay? And this is a problem. It's a huge problem. Knockout City, okay, launched in 2021, shut down already. Rumbleverse and so many others. I think what they're trying to do, ladies and gentlemen, is steer people to virtual reality worlds. Virtual reality. So a virtual reality world is where you have an imagined situation or scene, okay? And you create all the characters. Augmented reality, okay? So one is VR, one is augmented reality. That's when we take something that's created, okay? But then we then allow or synthesize real people to be in that through technology scanning, etc. And when this happens, people have to understand that there's a difference. So virtual reality is great for things like, computer-aided design, architects. So when you need augmented reality, augmented reality might be great if we're doing a concept plan for a new community, a new home or mall, and we actually want to show the people that are actually there. We could do that as opposed to just using synthesized people. So making a choice, ladies and gentlemen, to embrace technology and use it in a smart fashion, that's what takes intelligence, not to just use it and destroy our world. Because when you do this, you have to realize that these resources given to us in this world are here for everyone. And what we want to do is take these tokens. There was a passage. I won't try to get too religious here, but there was a passage in the Bible about tokens. And the first token was given to one person. Second token was given to a second person. Third token was given to the third person. First token came. And when that first token came, it really changed people's lives. The first token changed people's lives because of what happened after. So the first person did something with their token. Second person did something. Third person. So the person giving out the token said to the first person, what'd you do with your token? Oh, I bought something. Oh. Second person said, I didn't want anything to happen to my token, so I saved it. So first person had 0 tokens left, spent 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. Second person had 1 token. He just kept the token, didn't do anything with it, still had 1 token. Third person, he said, Master, here's what I did with my token. What did you do, son? I took my token and I made you 3 more tokens. So now I have 4 tokens together. Master said, marvelous. He said, for that, I'm going to double your tokens. And now you have 8 tokens. So the moral of the story is when you're given something, a gift, a tool, an idea, it is up to you to figure out how to embrace that tool, how to share it, how to make a difference with it in your life and other people's lives. See, that's what it's about. If you're trying to say, hey, I got this widget or I got this pen and I want to use it just for me, but I don't think about how it could affect our world, that, my friends, is a serious problem. We have to always think forward. We have to think about how we are going to make a difference in life. I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. And if it comes down that way, then I think we're going to have to really understand that we as people have a choice. We have a choice to how we choose to use the information we learn in our lives. We have a choice to be who we are because of what we learn. So we have a choice based on how we choose. How we choose. How do we choose? I'll tell you that choice is something that everyone does in their life. It's just that when you make the choice, something that can help another person, you're that more likely to get that person not only to help you and support you, but to tell other people about the greatness, about the good that you've done. And you can't be doing it looking for that pat on the back because, hey, we're not doing it for that reason. We're doing it to do what I do every day, become a better version of myself and help everyone else become better versions of themselves. And to tell those people, make sure that you share this free content out with other people. Because when you do that, our world is going to become a much, much better place. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am by now. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I'm the host of many shows, including the JMOR Tech Talk Show. So grateful to be with you guys, tonight here on February 3rd, and letting you know that life is a choice. And so you have a choice to apply to come online to appear as a guest on the JMOR Tech Talk Show. And if you're going to offer value to my audience, I'd be more than happy to bring you on the air. So you can learn more about that by visiting, jmor.com/believe, jmor.com. And then you'll just click on the reach out today. I have so many sites, so I make sure I was giving the right thing. And then there's a form you can fill out your bio. I have so many people we turn down. It's not because we want to be rude or nasty. It's because we want to make sure that the content you're sharing is going to make a difference in people's lives. I mean, that's the main thing. If you could do that, friends, you got half of it licked. The first part is you got to show up and you got to have a great attitude. That's it. And success will start to trickle towards you. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I hope you check out all my other great content at BelieveMeAchieve.com. You know I'm on the radio with Transform You Radio on Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 6:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. Eastern time. That is 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. Eastern. And I'm on Tuesday and Thursday from 4:30 p.m. Eastern to 5:30 p.m. Eastern, or I am on 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, Chicago time to 4:30 p.m. Chicago time. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your weekend, and I hope that you choose to use technology in a way that is going to empower others and let you celebrate your freedom and let you live a life that's filled with passion and that educates and that motivates, inspires, and allows you to unlock the mysteries of your life. Because when you make a choice, ladies and gentlemen, you got to befriend others. You're probably saying, hey, John, I don't need to do that. Yes, you do. Because when you befriend others, those people are going to have you cross paths that you never would have crossed in your life. And those paths might lead you down somewhere that you were never going to go. But it lets you see a whole different part of yourself. It gets you to explore something, and you get to become great at something you didn't even know. Maybe you meet something, you meet your partner, or you learn about someone that can help you, or you find a resource. That's what befriending people do. But if you befriend somebody and you try to do that to exploit them, it's going to bounce back in your face. Let's be honest. I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Of course, do like, love, support, tag the channel, comment, go to my channels, and please click that like button, click on the subscribe button, the bell notification icon, and smash, yes, the PayPal button. Make the choice to buy my team and I a cup of coffee, a nice bowl of fruit, or a savory dessert. We'll be so grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, empowered content to change your life. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I'm going to see you guys when? Yes, I'm going to see you next week, Friday, which is February 10th. Have a great one, everyone. I'll see you real soon.